import duty preferences for Georgia, which were rewarded 2 years ago. And the condition is that if we want to maintain those preferences, we should abolish our existing labor code. And so that means that sometimes not only political processes within the country are changing the regulations, but we hope will not change here, but also some international organizations can be very active on changing institutional situation within the country. The financial reform, which was done, part of it was done in 2007, part was done this year, actually 2 months ago, that we have mandatory fiscal surplus now within our law, and this surplus will be accumulated in the Future Generation Fund and Stable Development Fund. Central bank is responsible for inflation. He is not responsible for a currency rate or, for example, economic growth or employment or something like that. He can do that if it is not harming price stability. So price stability is the main goal of central bank. To improve the institutional quality of central bank, the law allows foreigners to be members of central bank board. And there is an inflation threshold which above which Parliament must conduct vote of confidence on central bank president, which means that central bank president is personally responsible for high inflation. And we remove all bank supervising things from central bank, and there is separate affiliated, let's say, sister agency, financial supervisory agency, which is overseeing whole financial sector. Also, we make quite a lot of small changes, like international financial companies can be established in Georgia, and they will be they'll enjoy zero profit tax from any overseas activities. We allow demutualization of our stock exchange and the competition among stock exchanges and many other things. We deregulate intra-corporate relationships because we're moving from German style corporate act to normal, and many other things. For example, for any international reputable financial institution can work in Georgia without special permit or license. They don't need to prove that they are good. They just need to show that they are registered in a transparent country. And for banks, there's additional requirement. They should have good credit rating. And that's all. They can work in Georgia. So privatization. Why privatization is important for developing countries? First of all, there is no culture of managing state-owned enterprises. I think there is no culture of managing state-owned enterprises anywhere, but in developing countries it's a nightmare. Second, it's always a place of different types of corruption, politically vested interests, and others. So it was my first and personal goal to privatize as much as possible, because I think that the countries like Georgia, corruption is one of the biggest potential problems. So what was done, what is ongoing? So we privatize all international airports, and we are looking to privatize maybe through IPO in a few years the railway. We privatize all seaports. We privatize generating and distribution of electricity. We privatize natural gas distribution companies. We allow to privatize agricultural land, and it's just a process which people are applying. It will happen quite soon. And as I mentioned, we have this quasi-privatization of natural resources through tradable licenses. We are a small country on the crossroad of different countries, and it's very important for us to have a good transport system, and for that we open our transport system, abolish restrictive transit fees, quotas, permits. We liberalize railway tariff policy. It means that railway is just a company. They are selling their services and they are deciding what's the price of those services. And we are big admirers of open sky policy. Unfortunately, many other countries are not. So, but we have no restrictions on numbers of passengers, destinations, frequency of flights, and other things. So in 2004, when I returned to Georgia, and it was practically sharply 4 years ago, it was in May 2004, in a capital city we have blackouts in some parts of the city each day, in some parts twice a week, 3 times a week. In a rural area there was actually can't say that we have blackouts. We have permanent blackout, and sometimes there was electricity. And the system was not working. It was heavily subsidized, and its formal structure of this electricity sector was like in United Kingdom. It was vertical. There was vertical separation, a blind market like pool in United Kingdom, everything like that. But it was not working. So because it was system based on forbidding people making deals, and no system can be good, especially in a country like Georgia. So also there was at that moment there was big political an acceptance to privatize this system immediately. So we decide to change regulation, invest money, government money in the system, and then privatize. So we allow long-term contracts between producers and consumers of electricity. We deregulate completely new capacity. So if you build new power system in Georgia, you are producing what you want. The tariff is yours, and nobody is looking for how much you are selling. And we allow vertical integration. We do the same same reform in gas sector. Last year and this year, we deregulate wholesale prices, and we deregulate new gas networks completely. So because and that's, I think, one of the most important things have been done. There was many other reforms. I tell you that I'll talk about it. They are not directly economic, but of course there is no compartment like this economy, that's not economy, it's all intertwined. So what was done, it was done petrol police or police reform. We have a huge corrupted police machinery, inefficient, low quality, bribe taking. We have a road police which was doing nothing except taking bribes. So in one day, all these policemen were fired. During 3 weeks or something like that, there was no policeman in Georgia. Nothing happens, because that's the nature of reforms on countries like Georgia or some others, that when you are demolishing these dysfunctional institutions, people say, oh, what will happen? Nothing can happen because it's a dysfunctional institution. Yeah. If I switch off light in the room where there is no light, nothing happens. There is no light before, there will be no light after. Yeah. And then create new police forces based on this patrolling regions concept. Completely new people, 87 or something like that are new. raise salaries, give normal equipment, and now today they have one of the highest